I know I'm going to get a lot of heat for making this video, but today is the day where I have no filter. Women are allowed to have preference, so that means I'm allowed to have one myself. Today we're going to talk about why I cannot see myself dating a single mother ever. Ladies and gentlemen, reason number one, I don't want kids of my own. I already know people's going to strike me for death in the comments. They're like, oh my God, here we go, another one of these guys. Listen, having a kid is a lifetime. I don't think some of y'all don't understand how difficult, how much time, effort, and you have to put life into that kid. It is a responsibility. It is a duty. And it's like I have the utmost respect for people who have children because I know for me personally, I can't do it. It is a lot of work. A lot. It is a lifetime chore. And if you're willing to do that, phenomenal. Great for you. But me, I'm not doing that. So it doesn't make sense for me to get with somebody that has kids. And that's why I always ask the question, right? And when they ask me first, they're like, we're sitting at a date, and they're like, oh, do you have any kids? Do you have any kids that I should know about? Because I deal with a lot of men that be having undercover kids. I don't know why y'all be hiding y'all kids. That is weird. Stop doing that shit. It's dumb. Stop wasting people's time. Just let it be known. Stop hiding. I understand why you hide it, but it's like, hey, you had the kid. Let it be known. Save yourself some time. But they would ask me, do you have any kids? I'll be like, no, I don't want any kids. And it's like, okay, you know what I'm saying? And I'll be like, you have kids? They'd be like, I have 3. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, let's continue to have the, good time. And I will have a good time with these people, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, I do not want to be with somebody that have kids because I don't want kids anymore on my own. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Why would I do that to myself? You know what I'm saying? If I don't want any of my own, it don't make sense, right? Again, the financial responsibility, the more kids you have, the more money you have to make, right? That's why when people be like, oh, you make 80K or 100K a year, 9 times out of 10, you either spending too much fucking money or you have a lot of kids, right? And then you literally have to pour into each vessel. Each kid is, I hate to say it like this, but it's an investment. It is. You know what I'm saying? It is an investment. We don't live in a free world, unfortunately. I didn't make the rules. So don't come for me when I say it like that. It is what it is. It is what it is. I'm not going to sit here and cap and be like, you know what I'm saying? It's not a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing to have a kid, but there's some nasty work that come with it. A lot of shit that come with that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And I love kids. I used to be a dance teacher. I taught middle school, elementary school, and high school. I love them. They love me. They wouldn't stop being around my ass. Every time I go somewhere, and I used to teach at after school. We'd do summer camp. They'd be like, Mr. Joel, what are we doing today? They will follow me like a fucking pack of hedgehogs. I'm like, damn. I would turn around, they're there. There was this one cute kid. She was a little bit on the spectrum, you know what I'm saying? And she would give me like this little hair clip that I'll put on my head and I'll just rock it for the day. Every day she would see me, she would put that shit on my head, and she was amazing. I loved her. That was my kid. So teaching kids and shit like that, that was my taste test, my trial for having kids. And I'm like, I love them, but there's a certain time where it's like, all right, take them back. Take them back. You know what I'm saying? I want to be one of them uncles. You could drop them off for a weekend, and then after that, take them back. You know what I'm saying? When you have a kid, there's none of that. You got to keep them 24/8. Love them to death, but hell no, I ain't doing that. Fuck that. Right? Number 2, if you break up with that single mother, right, that has a child, they don't talk about this. If you break up with them, the relationship you have with the kid, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to be able to talk to that kid anymore. And that fucking hurts. You literally have to end the relationship with shorty and the kid. And it's like, bro, what if y'all was together for 3 to 4 years, you find out she's cheating, and boom. Now it's like, you can't even talk to the kid no more because she want to, you know what I mean? It's my child. You were a stepdad. Oh, word? That shit, I wish that pain on nobody, right? And it's a regular occurrence, especially for the biological fathers. I'm not going to sit here and cap and act like every biological father is amazing and they rainbows and sunshine. There's some pieces of shit out here. We're all aware of that. But it's like, we also got to take some responsibility as well. It's like, you decided to have a kid with this motherfucker. Like, what? Now, if the dude did a 180 after you had the kid, that's a different story. I sympathize with that. But if you knew this dude was in the streets and you was like, using the kid to kind of keep him at bay, you're dumb. I'm just keeping it. I'm keeping it a bad. That's not smart. You had a kid with a dude that was in the streets, and you thought having a kid with him would make him sane. What the fuck? Why do girls do that shit? They be like, yeah, my baby father be outside selling at work, and then they take pride in that shit. EBT, all that, and it's like they use the EBT card for their own good. Don't even feed the cow. Now feed the child. Now that motherfucker's malnourished. Whose fault is that? Yours. And you want me to deal with that? I have to deal with that. Right? And this brings me on to point number 3. At some point in time, you're going to have to deal with the baby father. It just is what it is. Unless there's like an agreement where they're like co-parents or something like that. I don't know what it is, but at some point in time, you're going to have to deal with that motherfucker. And that's not going to be a good day. Unless you guys have a rapport with each other, respect, great. It's very rare. At some point in time, you will have to deal with him. And even if you don't deal with him on a physical level, you will have that baggage. You have to deal with him in a way that, like, you have to deal with whatever the fuck the damage that he done to her. You know what I'm saying? So that spills over to what y'all got going on. And then it's just like a whole situation of like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm good. I don't want to have to deal with that. I'm always going to be in competition with the main dude that is actually the father of the child. Ooh, it's just not a good recipe. It's a recipe for disaster. It's not good. It's just not good. I've heard too many horror stories. I've seen horror stories. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I'm super good. This leads me on to point number 4. The drama. And it's like, with the drama, you still have these high-ass standards. You have to literally do your shit, pay for the child, still take her out on a 5-star dinner, and treat her like she's a queen. You know what I'm saying? When it's like, my nigga, this is the first date. I done seen videos where they would literally bring their child to the date. You got to meet my child too. Whoa, hold on. I know that's contradictory to the point that I made earlier, like, don't hide your kid. But my dude, I'm dating you. I'm not dating the child. You get what I mean? Like, what are we doing? It's supposed to be for me and you, and then, we could talk about that later if you guys, are into the single mother. It's great, phenomenal. But bring the child on the date is crazy. On the first date, that's crazy. You get what I'm saying? It's like you got to deal with the drama, the baggage that comes with the situation. Not even with the shorty. It's just with the situation. Because you could be dealing with a good shorty, right? You could be dealing with a good shorty that just had an ain't shit nigga, right? But there's still baggage there as well, right? You still got to deal with that. So you got to have space for that as well, because it's not going to be a smooth boat, right? If the dude realizes and just has a change of mind and has a change of heart, that he realized that, oh man, I was a bad dude, right? You going to have to deal with that as well. Word. So now she might be falling back in love with dude, and you over here like, yo, why she acting weird? We was just good, but and now you over here creating a bond with Tremisha, whatever the name of the child is, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's getting rocky because you don't know where you stand. You like in the middle. You playing monkey in the middle between dude, biological dad, and shorty. And it's like, bro, you can't win. You can't win. It is going to be a constant headache unless the dude is restrained, lives in another state, far away. You're done. It's just not going to be a good situation most of the time. So I'm just like, I don't want that. I don't want that baggage. It's already hard as it is to date. And having that on top of it when you're meeting somebody and dealing with a whole new situation is just like, damn, that's exhausting. That is exhausting. So that's why anytime I get the question, do you have kids? Or I usually ask, do you have kids? If it's a yes, we going to continue to have a good date. But after that, I'm going to have to cut ties. You feel what I'm saying? Like, just out of respect for me and you, because, again, I don't want kids. I don't want to deal with any drama, no baby mothers. And I also do not want to have to deal with that burden of having to break up with the child as well, because that shit, I feel like that shit is the most painful shit ever. Out of all the things that I mentioned, that shit right there hurts like a motherfucker, right? Because I love the kids. Would I have my own? No. No. You feel what I'm saying? We're just not doing that. More times out, and then more times out of that, I didn't talk about this. You have you have to really vet the shorty out as well. Because when you get into a situation where you're dealing with a single mother, right? 9 times out of 10, they're gonna deal with you because of what you can provide for them, and not because they genuinely have that burning desire to fuck with you. You feel what I'm saying? And what I mean is that they will love you for your resources, and then they're gonna think it's convenient, right? It's not gonna be like, oh my god, I actually like this, I love this man. No, it's gonna be like, oh, he got money, he can provide for my child. It's a smart decision to keep this guy around, and watch you go bounce from that to doom doom, and still mess with the real dude, the baby father, still get, you know what I'm saying, her back blown out by him. You feel what I'm saying? But the smart dude, which is me, is over here carrying the weight because I'm the nice guy, the good guy. You feel what I'm saying? She don't really want you for real. She just wants you because of what you can provide. And you can make her life easier so she can go outside and be a city girl. You feel me? So it's like, you got to also remember that as well. You got to look at the intention of some of these shorties, right? And most of the times, I hate to say it like this, but it's like, I understand why you got in that situation. It's like, you feel what I'm saying? And I'm not talking about people who are like, you know, getting situations where they get, you know what I'm saying, taken advantage of by men, you know, weirdo dudes. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about single mothers, right? And some of them is gonna sit in the comments and deny that they do this. I'm talking about single mothers that make the conscious decision to keep doing raw unprotected, you know what I'm saying, with a dude that has no interest of being a good, like a provider. You know what I'm saying? That ain't good. That ain't good for short. It just don't make no sense. They want the fast life, right? And they think it's smart. A lot of shorties be using their kid as a way to keep their man at bay or control their man, right? And I heard some other shit, right, where they would, I think it's a New York law, New York, New Jersey, I don't know. It's like you could get paid for having more kids, and there was a shorty that had like 6 kids, and they would get like tax write-offs for it. You know what I'm saying? So they would get money back for having a kid. I'm just like, yo, y'all fucked up. You using your kid for money? Get a job. Get a job. You ever thought of doing that shit? Like, get a job. Everyone works a job. Get one. It'll make your life way easier. Right? Way easier. And then y'all have the nerve to have these high-ass standards. Take me out. Take me here. It's like, for what? Why? What reason? You literally made a bad decision and you expect us to be like, oh wow, you have 3 kids and we're supposed to treat you like you're just like everybody else. I'm sorry, I personally can't do that, right? And I know a lot of people's going unsubscribe, but I'm just gonna be like, hey, listen, the same way y'all can have a preference, y'all want 6'3", muscles and all that, or you want people that make 7 figures. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to have to work a job. It's the same way I could say I don't want to date a single mother. The same way. That is my preference, right? And the first one is because I don't want kids of my own. What can you say to that? So that automatically disqualifies you before even getting to all the other shit where I discover who you are, right? And I'm just like, oh wow, okay, yeah, this is not gonna work, right? It's not gonna work. I remember dating a shorty, cool John, really cool John, you know what I'm saying? But the difference was she wanted kids, I didn't. So I said, you know what? Love you to death, you know what I'm saying? It was hard to break it off because she was actually cool. Like, we actually had a good rapport, but it didn't make sense because I'd be holding her back from what she really wanted in the future, and that would cause tension. So I'm just like, it's best if we just break it off now, you know what I'm saying? Go through that emotion and, you know, keep it cordial. You get me? And she didn't really take too well to it, but I can understand why, because it's like we were actually good. You get what I'm saying? And I know I'm nerfing. I'm destroying myself and making my options a little bit more or less. Like, because I don't want kids, that's cool. I'm cool with that. Like, I've come to terms with that. I know that I'm making life 10 times harder. But it's like, people think that having a kid is just easy work, right? They get all happy about it. The shit, it's just like, you don't really think. Like, you got to think about these. You got to prepare for it. A lot of people have kids when they're not even ready to have kids. I hate to say it like that, right? I hate to say it like that, but that's what it is, right? I don't want to. The only way I would even consider by a slight margin, but even now I'm just like hell nah. As if I'm a billionaire, some crazy shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And if I had if I was better mentally and I resolved all the issues that I had, I would think about it. But the state of the world, this world is woo. I'm good. I do not want to bring a kid into this world. And then it's like, oh, you're robbing the kid of the human experience. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. I understand that, but it's like I don't have nothing I don't know what to say to that. I don't want that responsibility. I can't just be like, oh, I'm having a terrible time right now. I can't really mentally. I need time for myself. There's no time for yourself when you got a newborn. You gotta attend to him, her. You know what I'm saying? You also gotta be careful of how, like, when people start fucking with your kid at school, when they start going to school and being social, it's like, it's a lot, bro. It's a lifelong journey, bro. It is a lifelong journey. And it's like, when you have to raise that child and you asking for assistance from everybody else, 9 times out of 10, nobody's gonna do it for you. Can you watch my kid? You're gonna have to pull teeth and nail to have that done. It's a lot. I be seeing. It's just like, I don't know. For me, it just doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? So y'all let me know what y'all think about this and y'all thoughts. I can't do it. I can't do it. That is like the one non-negotiable that I have. That is like, it's through thick and thin. I don't care how bad you are. I don't care if you're like the nicest person in the world. I'm sorry, I just can't do it. I can't do it. You know what I mean? And it's like, I have respect for single mothers. I have friends that were raised from single motherhood. You know what I'm saying? So I have respect for it, but it doesn't entitle me or have to stoop down. Let me not say even stoop down. Change my preference because everyone says, oh, you should date a single mother. It's like, no, I don't think that's good for me, right? Highlight on for me, right? So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, love you guys a lot. You guys have a great rest of your day.